Hello everyone, this is part 7 of What If Naruto Came Back with a Kid, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, it gives me more motivation. Enjoy. Way to go, Whiskers. Naruto was met on the viewing deck by his female teammate. She hugged him tightly and then pulled back, revealing a giant smile. Naruto reveled in the feeling of warmth that came with the hug. He smiled down at her, trying his best to force a blush not to appear. Thankfully, his rescue came at that moment. Naruto. Sakura burst through the door and took Ino's spot, hugging her big brother. You did so great. Naruto hugged his sister back and smiled at his mom as she stood at the entrance. Thanks. Sakura pulled back and smiled. I can't believe how strong you are. You even beat that move that Lee-kun used. Naruto blushed at the praise and scratched the back of his head. It was nothing. He stopped when he suddenly felt an increase of intent. His eyes scanned the room till he felt a pair of eyes staring at him with complete rage and hatred. The Sand Shinobi. He frowned and looked at his family. Well, I'm not sure if family is allowed up here. Why don't you two leave? But, Sakura started, but then she noticed the urgency in Naruto's voice. She then noticed emotion with his eyes. She followed and saw Gaara staring at them with interest. She shuddered. She took her mom's hand. Yeah, Mom. Come on, we wouldn't want to get Naruto disqualified. Mrs. Haruno looked between the two and shrugged. I'm very proud of you. I'll be home when you get back. I want play-by-play when you get there. Naruto returned the hug, keeping an eye on Gaara. The intent grew slightly. Naruto released the hug, and the two visitors left. A voice came from the side, a little advice. Naruto looked to his side and saw Temari sitting there polishing his fan. Gaara really hates affectionate moments. Especially the family kind. It would be best if you remembered that. Naruto nodded. And don't think that I am telling you this out of kindness either. Temari finished polishing. I just don't feel like cleaning off the blood today. She then stood and rejoined her brother. Ino eyed Temari as she walked off. What did the Sand Witch want? Naruto kept his eyes on Gaara. You in the same bracket as Gaara? Ino nodded. Think I would fight him in the second round if we both got that far. If you get there, quit. Ino frowned. What? And blow my chances at a promotion? Naruto nodded, still not taking his eyes off of Gaara. He wants two people right now. And it is dangerous for anyone who stands in his way. Shikamaru sighed from the observation deck. They just postponed the Uchiha's match. It's like we're just here as a side show. How troublesome. Naruto raised an eyebrow. I thought Chuji's match was before Sasuke's. Shikamaru sighed. That match was over in seconds. That sound guy used that thing on his arm to vibrate Chuji's body and knock him out. He then looked at Gaara and sighed. I'm sure that doesn't go over well with him. Naruto shook his head. He wants to fight Sasuke. If he wins because Sasuke doesn't show up, he'll probably try to KO the entire stadium. Shikamaru sighed again. How troublesome. The proctor called for the next match. Shino Aburame vs. Ino Yamanaka. Shino looked over at Ino and then jumped off the platform, landing on the testing ground. Ino rolled her eyes. Boys. Always with the dramatic entrance. She then walked out of the room, walking down the stairs. She slowly made her way to the testing ground and stood opposite Shino. Ino smirked. I'm not going to lose to some boy that plays with bugs. Shino remained emotionless. Trust me, Yamanaka, you will soon find out that I do not play at all. The proctor looked between the two. Begin. Ino jumped backwards and landed in the wooded area. If I can sneak around and take my time, I can catch him with my mind possession jutsu. Her thoughts were interrupted by a loud buzzing. She looked to her side to see a swarm of bugs heading right for you. She disappeared again, but the second she settled in her new location, the bugs were there. How are they? Must be luck. She tried to hide again, only to be met with the same bugs yet again. They'll find you no matter what, came the monotone voice of Shino, who was still standing in the same spot he started at. Ino tried to move again, but the bugs once again quickly found her. How? Check your forehead protector, advised Shino. Ino looked at her forehead protector to find a small bug sitting on it. When did you? When you were busy speaking with your team, I planted it on you. The male of the species released a certain pheromone that attracts the female without fail. Ino paled. Shino smirked behind his coat. I'll give you a chance to give up before my bugs devour your chakra. The proctor sighed. No need. Looks like you've reached the end of your journey, Yamanaka. Without being able to be still long enough to use your family's jutsu, you have no chance. Winner, Shino Aberame. Shikamaru looked down at the grounds and sighed, completely outclassed. Naruto nodded, yeah, but she did good for her first year. One of only 2 girls to make it to the final round. And what is that supposed to mean? Naruto and Shikamaru looked to see Temari standing there, obviously offended. They both choked. Naruto tried to explain, well, you see. Temari waved it off. Save it, punk. I'll take it out on your teammate there, then I'm coming for you. I'll show you how strong a real female is. She then jumped down to the battlefield. Shikamaru sighed. Did you have to get your angry? How troublesome. He then looked over at Ino, who had just arrived. She seemed slightly disappointed. He sighed. You did well for yourself, Yama, Ino. Ino blushed. Shikamaru-kun. Shikamaru frowned. There you go with that troubling suffix again. But, Naruto smirked, flirt with your girlfriend later, you have a match to win. He then gave Shikamaru a little too hard pat on his back. Shikamaru fell forward and out of the viewing deck. He hit the battlefield and sighed, stupid Uzumaki. She's not even my girlfriend. Such a thing would be too troublesome. He then stood dusting himself off and looking at Temari. Why do I always have to fight the girls? Okay, I honestly can't remember how exactly the whatif Naruto battle went since it has been a while since I watched it, so if I screw it up a little, please just bear with me. Now finally, the last thing I need to say. Every person who has ever written for an extended period of time knows that you go through growing stages. That being said, I have hit one in this story. I have planned what happens at the end of this chapter for about 3 or 4 months now. The point is very simple and twofold. First, life isn't perfect. I have always believed that in writing you take what you seem to be imperfect in a world and correct it. However, it is also true that certain things cannot be escaped. They're simply facts of life. That's one of the major reasons I am avoiding the whole sudden, I love you Autofi love you too, relationship between Ino and Naruto. That would make it seem hollow and give it no substance. Second is even more simple. It's plainly character development. I'm working on a major complex that Naruto will show later on and will eventually have to overcome to ever have a healthy relationship with Ino. So there you go. If you hate the ending of this chapter, then so be it. Hate it, like it, indifferent about it, it's simply what it is, a fact of life. Pick it up, runts, yelled the pug as he continued to follow the scent of Sasuke. If they keep this pace, we won't be able to catch them. Pakken picked up pace and just hoped the others could keep up. Naruto, Sasuke, and Shikamaru picked up the pace. Naruto had been silent the entire time. That guy. I have never felt anything like that from anyone else. Just me. Does that mean he has something inside of him like I do? Shikamaru sighed. How troublesome. Sakura and Naruto looked over at him. Shikamaru frowned. Those people behind us are catching up. And they're probably Chunin too. This is so troublesome. You're wrong, kid, corrected Pakken. Their movements are too good for Chunin. I'm having trouble keeping up with them. So that means, started Sakura. Shikamaru sighed, we're messing with Junins. Man, this is so troublesome. Pakken nodded, we can't worry about them right now. The ones up front have picked up speed. But if they catch up with us, we will be said, stated Sakura. We need to set up an ambush or something. Pakken shook his head, if we stop then we will never catch up with Sasuke and the others. Shikamaru sighed, that means one of us will have to stay behind and set up the ambush while the others continue on. Sakura nodded, yeah, one of us will hang back and catch the Junin from behind. Shikamaru nodded, yes, it will slow them down, but not for long. One of us doesn't stand a chance against a Junin, even less against 2 squads. What do you mean? Asked Naruto. This is our town. We have to know something they don't. Shikamaru looked at his teammate, that's true. We grew up here and would definitely know the area better than any outside source. But the problem is we're not dealing with an outside source. Everyone froze in shock. Don't forget that their leader is Orochimaru. He used to be a leaf shinobi himself. He knows these woods as well if not better than we do. He must have sent his squads through rigorous training. We won't be able to fool them. But that means, started Sakura. Shikamaru nodded, the one that stays behind will slow down the squads but not stop them. They will more than likely yes. The three genin looked at each others. They knew Pakken had to continue the search so one of them would have to risk their lives for the better of the team. It was something that had been taught thousands of times in the academy, but right now it was real. Naruto looked at his sister. I couldn't let one of my family if I could stop it. Sakura. You and Naruto go ahead, finished Shikamaru. Naruto and Sakura looked at Shikamaru with a surprise. The laziest ninja of them all was actually taking the initiative. Shikamaru looked at the two. Go or you will never catch up. I wouldn't be much help against that guy, and Naruto would not be able to focus if you were in danger, Sakura. Besides, my family jutsu was originally meant for an ambush. I will hold them off as long as I can. Shikamaru, what about Ino? Asked Naruto. Pakken looked back at the two. Come on kids, we have to leave now. He took off with Sakura right behind him. Naruto kept his gaze on his teammate. Don't okay. Ino would be heartbroken if you did. Shikamaru sighed, such a troublesome girl. Naruto smiled and took off after the pug and his sister. Shikamaru got ready what could very well be his last battle. If I live through this, may I will take Ino out or something. About 10 minutes later, Pakken had stated a long time ago that Sasuke had stopped and seemed to be continuing his fight with Gaara. When they got to the battle site, Sasuke was almost passed out from using the Chidori too many times. Sakura immediately was at Sasuke's side. Naruto kept his gaze on Gaara. Gaara seemed upset with the appearance of Sakura till he caught a glimpse of Naruto. A sickening smile crossed Gaara's face. Uzumaki. I was hoping you would catch up with us. Naruto kept his gaze on Naruto. He slowly positioned himself between Sakura and Gaara. What is this guy? Gaara raised an eyebrow as he saw Naruto obviously trying to protect Sakura. Why? Why do you protect such a weak human? What purpose does she serve? Naruto scowled. She's my big sister. I love her and will protect her. Gaara's eyes went wide at the word, love. The sand around him started to swirl. Love. Why do you love others? I sense it inside of you. You hold something like me. Why do you not show it? Mother wants so dearly to fight it. Mother. Gaara's look deepened. Yes, at my birth I was fused with the spirit of a beast. It is said to be the spirit of a monk. I was created as a weapon from birth. As a result, my mother was ked at my birth. Naruto's eyes widened as he started to slightly shake. He is like me. How do I fight something like this? I was sheltered until the age of 6. After then, people have tried to kill me so many times I have lost count. Naruto gasped. What about your family? Your team? Gaara's smile widened. Family. Team. These are just words to me. I live for one thing and one thing alone. The sand around Gaara flared as his chakra grew. I live to K. Roared Gaara's voice through the forest. Naruto gasped. He doesn't have anyone. He's like me before mom found me. Would I have grown up like this? Am I capable of such cruelty? Gaara smirked when he saw his opening. His misshapen transformed hand shot out and pinned Sakura to a tree. She screamed in pain as she was pinned to the tree and felt like she was being crushed. Naruto looked at her in worry. Sakura. He went to help his sister, but the sand-covered arm quickly disconnected itself from the hand and formed a new hand before swinging at Naruto and knocking him across the battlefield. Gaara smiled as Sakura screamed again. The grip will tighten at random until she is crushed to death. Naruto looked at Gaara with hatred. Gaara smirked. The only way to stop it is to knock me out or kill me. Succumb. Prove to me my existence. Gaara did not give Naruto a chance to stand before rushing forward and pinning Naruto to a tree. The Naruto quickly puffed out of existence. Gaara frowned. When? He then felt his sand raise and block an attack from behind. He slowly turned with a sickening smile and faced a now enraged Naruto. Naruto's eyes were stead and red as the fox's chakra started to swirl around him, replenishing the energy used to catch up to Sasuke. Gaara showed a menacing smile. So, you have decided to show it. Naruto growled as he crouched almost like an animal waiting to pounce its prey. His voice took on a new growl. No one hurts Sakura-chan while I am around. Gaara chuckled, then come. Naruto leapt at the attack. He sent several punches at Gaara. Gaara was surprised when Naruto's speed allowed him to punch through Gaara's sand shield. The several taijutsu attacks proved to slowly chip away at Gaara's sand armor. One final punch sent Gaara flying. Naruto looked up in his rage to see Gaara stand walking away from the wreckage with a sickening smile. I am very pleased. But I will still KO you. Suddenly Gaara's sand converged on him and slowly started to take shape of a sphere. Naruto looked on in anger. Uzumaki, came a weak plea. Naruto looked to his side to see a barely awake Sasuke. He frowned. What do you want? I'm busy. Sasuke gasped for air. If that guy finishes this transformation, he will be too strong. You will not be able to defeat him. He then looked back at the now unconscious Sakura. You have to save her. Sasuke then collapsed forward out of energy. Suddenly, Gaara's chakra flares again as the sand sphere burst open, revealing some weird-looking creature. Naruto took a step backwards as the creature's head snapped towards him and gave him a sadistic grin. The creature licking its lips. I can't wait to taste your blood. It then charged forward with amazing speed. Naruto hit and was expecting to be knocked backwards, but the sand instead started to engulf him. Naruto quickly planted an exploding kunai into the sand and used all his strength to jump backwards. The creature wailed in pain when the kunai had exploded. Naruto jumped backwards and called out his signature move, Shadow Clone Jutsu. The clones attacked at Naruto's command, but they all seemed to vanish the second they came within range of Gaara. Naruto grimaced. I can't get near this guy. What do I do? He then heard a crunch as the hand that was holding Sakura dug even more into the tree, which meant it was tightening around her. Sasuke's words to save her echoed through his ear. He shrugged off his weighted jacket yet again and cracked his knuckles as he clenched them. He focused. If I move fast enough, the sand won't be able to absorb me. I just have to keep hitting till I get a good hit. He summoned up the more shadow clones and then the four of them attacked. Naruto kept their movements quick, making it hard for Gaara to tell which one was real. Gaara winced as several hits connected, but none of the hits stayed in contact long enough for the sand to start to absorb the fists. He swung wildly, trying his best to get lucky, but Naruto seemed to not want to give up so easily. So Gaara took his next option. He quickly waved his hand at the trapped Sakura and several razor-sharp kunai flew at her. Sand Shuriken. Naruto appeared in front of her and blocked the attack. He growled as the shuriken hit him, causing several slashes. Naruto growled as a smirk crossed Gaara's face. Gaara kept a menacing glare as he started to laugh loudly as sand started to surround Gaara again as he grew to a gigantic size. Naruto paled. I have to summon Gamabunta or I won't be able to help anyone. He flashed through the seals and slammed his hand into the ground. When the smoke vanished, there stood a small orangish red toad. The toad raised his hand. Yo, what do you need? Naruto paled. What are you doing here? I meant to summon the boss. The toad smirked. You didn't even come close to enough focus to summon my dad. I'm Gamakichi. Gamakichi then looked up and saw the giant sand-covered raccoon dog. He paled. You don't want me to fight that, do you? Naruto scowled. No, I wanted Gamabunta to fight that. A foot started to come down on the two. Naruto grabbed Gamakichi and jumped to the side, barely avoiding the foot. Gamakichi was worried now as he sought out a place to hide. Then try it again. And try to focus more this time. Naruto flashed through the seals and tried the jutsu again. This time there was a larger puff of smoke. Naruto smiled as the smoke cleared and Gamabunta stood there staring at Shukaku. Gamabunta grunted. Who's been picking on my son? Gamakichi seemed to grow brave with the appearance of his dad. He jumped out from his hiding spot. That big sand guy did. But this blonde guy saved me. Blonde guy. Gamabunta looked down and saw Naruto standing there. The toad smirked slightly. Very well then, Uzumaki. I will fight with you this time. Hop on. Naruto jumped onto Gamabunta as a life-size form of Gaara appeared on the top of Shukaku's head. Gamabunta frowned. I would take that this is the possessed boy. Possessed. Gamabunta let out a puff of smoke. I know this summon. He's a fairly strong raccoon dog. His name is Shukaku. He slowly takes over his vessel until he has complete control. There see the rings around the boy's eyes. Naruto nodded. Yeah, so. Gamabunta frowned. You don't know anything, do you? Those rings are symbols of the fact that the vessel is not able to sleep. If the vessel falls to sleep, Gamabunta paused as he saw Gaara making several seals. Gaara finished his seals and then mumbled, false sleep jutsu. He then fell forward, obviously unconscious. The figure of Shukaku let out a victorious yell before looking at Gamabunta. I see someone who I would like to K. Gamabunta frowned. The demon is in complete control now. He dodged a barrage of sand attacks. He then came up with his first idea. Kid, we're going to have to work together on this one. Use a fire jutsu. Gamabunta then spit out oil towards Shukaku. The oil his Shukaku. Gamabunta was angry when Naruto did not fill his part of the jutsu. Brat. I said use a fire jutsu. We're doing it again. But I don't know any fire jutsu. Gamabunta frowned, then think of something. He spit out oil again as a thought hit Naruto. When an exploding kunai explodes, there is a flame. He then threw a kunai with a tag on it. As it exploded, the fire met the oil, creating a giant blast of flame. Gamabunta yelled out the jutsu, Toad Oil Flame Bullet. The fire attack knocked Shukaku back. Gamabunta then went on with his plan. Listen, kid, we can't win this fight with that run to sleep. I'm going to use a henge, but I need you to imagine something I can use to hold on to Shukaku. What do you mean, imagine something? Gamabunta started to run towards the stumbling Shukaku. Just what I said. I can only transform into something my summoner is thinking about. So just think about something. What? Gamabunta jumped into the air for the attack, something big with claws. Naruto focused. When the time was right, Gamabunta called out the henge. First a bloodthirsty grin appeared, then a claw, finally 9 foxtails swayed in the wind. Of course, when asked to imagine something big with claws, Naruto's first instinct was to think of one thing, the Kyuubi. The transformed Gamabunta landed onto Shukaku, sinking in his claws. No boy. Wake up the runt. Naruto ran down the head of the Kyuubi off Gamabunta, jumping into air, almost hitting a punch, but part of the Shukaku's body launched upwards, surrounding Naruto, about to crush him with Desert Funeral. Just before Naruto was crushed, Gamabunta transformed back and used his sword to s off the base of the extended sand that held Naruto. Naruto slowly fell forward, this time once again towards Gaara. He clenched his fist as he got near and landed a punch in the middle of Gaara's forehead. Time seemed to freeze as the armor around Gaara's forehead started to crack and slowly splinter out. The Shukaku let out a loud scream as Gaara woke up and Shukaku's control slipped. Gaara and Naruto both flew towards the ground, hitting it with great force. Shukaku's body slowly started to dissipate as the sand began to blow off into the air. Gamabunta looked down at Gamakichi and smiled before they both vanished. Gaara tried to stand but found himself too drained to continue. He was even more surprised as Naruto slowly stood up. Gaara looked at him. How can you beat me? Naruto clenched his fist as he stumbled forwards as he used the last of his chakra to stay standing. Because you threatened my loved ones. I will not let you hurt the people who are precious to me. Gaara stared at him in confusion. Precious people. Naruto nodded. Yes, my mom and sister, my team, those people who accept me for who I am, not what I am. Gaara smirked slightly. People accept you even with what you contain. Naruto nodded and looked behind him to see Kankuro and Temari slowly stumble onto the battlefield. He smirked, and so do you. He then fell to the ground, sitting up and looking at Gaara. Temari started to draw her fan to finish off the boy who had actually defeated Gaara when a voice stopped her. Temari. Temari turned and faced her little brother in surprise. Gaara leaned back, closing his eyes. There has been enough fighting today. Temari nodded in understanding and went to help Kankuro carry Gaara off. Then the last thing she ever thought would happen happened. Gaara looked at the two. Kankuro, Temari, thank you. Temari nodded at her little brother. It's okay. Let's get you home. Gaara seemed to relax at that thought. She looked back at Naruto, who was slowly standing up and checking on his sister, who had been released from the containment jutsu. She smiled. Thank you, Naruto Uzumaki. Later that day, Kakashi has showed up and broken the news. The third was S. He had then taken the still unconscious Sasuke and headed towards the hospital. Sakura had said she was fine and was happy to walk home with her little brother. They viewed the damage as they got closer to their home. Sakura looked around. It's hard to believe this happened. I am almost waiting to wake up and it be a dream. Naruto shook his head. This is part of being a shinobi. We can only just swear to get stronger to help protect our home next time. Sakura smiled at her brother. He had grown so much in just a short time. He was quickly leaving her in the dust when it came to his skills. I'm very proud of you, Naruto. You did a lot today. She was surprised when Naruto didn't reply. In fact, he was not beside her anymore. She turned and saw a horrified look on Naruto's face. For the first time, Sakura turned and looked where they were heading. She almost cried on their spot. There was their home in complete rubble. But what was the most horrific thing was one thing. Their mom had been at home during the attack. Sakura and Naruto both exchanged looks before rushing forward and started to dig through the rubble. A passerby scoffed at him, "Don't waste your time with that one." The rescue squad passed it by. "It's the home of that bee who took in that monster." Naruto growled at this. People had refused to help simply because Mrs. Haruno had taken him in. He used his anger to regain what little strength he had left and continue to dig. Then he heard a gasp. Naruto. Naruto looked at his sister, who was simply looking at the spot she was digging as tears started to fall from her eyes. Naruto rushed over and froze when he saw it. His mother's motionless hand sticking out from underneath the rubble. That was the last thing he remembered before the anger overtook him. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.